What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Saturday with a nice 8-game slate here tonight. Coming off a pretty solid night last night, especially with guys like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. The rest of the plays were solid. I was expecting some more rebounds out of Andre Drummond. He kind of had a low rebounding game and could have had a bigger game in that sense. Blake Griffin kind of took some more rebounds than he normally does from him. And the Bucks Warriors game wasn't nearly as high scoring as Vegas and what it was projected to be. Like the over-under was 240. I think the final score was like 105 to 95 or something like that. So it wasn't even close to the projected over-under. And also Josh Hart wasn't as aggressive as he normally is. But we got some good plays again here with my money six of my favorite plays on the board. Also, Jimmy Butler absolutely smashed last night. Had a crazy good night. That was really good from the plays. But before we get going in this video, be sure to drop a like on this one. Really appreciate it. Let's see if we can get over 100 likes again. That'd be insane. Thank you so much. And let's just get into it. I'm going to go with Jokic first up here at 9,200. He had a really good night against the Hawks. Their first time out. It didn't end up being that close, so he only played 25 minutes. But in 25 minutes, the guy had 43 drafting points at 12, 9, and 7. And I think he's very capable of doing even more in this game. I think it has a better shot of being close just based on how the Nuggets are a little bit banged up now. Gary Harris is out, and also now they got Paul Millsap out. So this is kind of a little bit of a depleted Nuggets roster. Like, they still got some good pieces with Jokic, obviously, Jamal Murray. I think Trey Lyles will slide in nicely. But the Hawks aren't, I mean, they're definitely one of the worst teams in the league, but I think they're capable of keeping this game close, especially with them being at home. They'll probably have a better fight at home in this matchup. And if they can keep this game close, Jokic has 60-plus. DraftKings upside. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my first guy. Then I'm going to go with Bradley Beal. I'm assuming in this game that John Wall is going to be out. He didn't go through the shoot around. He has an illness. He just had a kid the other day. So I would imagine they'd hold him out. And there's also some good reason for them to hold him out with the trade rumors going around. Will give the Wizards a better sense of like how they'd fare without him, with playing as with Bradley Beal as that number one piece. And he's done really well over the last two games. He's gotten 58 and 52 drafting points in his last two games. Extremely good scoring ability. In this matchup against the Cavs, their defense has definitely not been great. They're allowing like the highest field goal percentage, one of the highest three-point field goal percentages, and they've allowed some big games to players over the last two games. They've allowed a huge game De'Aaron Fox, and also Steph Curry, I believe, the other night, a huge game against them. So at 8,800, I think Bradley Beal can get his without John Wall. Obviously, if Wall is playing, then I'll pivot off Bradley Beal because the price tag is factoring in John Wall being out. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there. And then for my third guy, we're going to go with ENES KANTER here. A really good matchup at 7,300. ENES KANTER, for these matchups against the Nets, he wakes up with a smile on his face because it seems like every time he plays them, he has a huge game, knock on wood. But in the two games this year, he's gotten some more run. He's averaging a 22 and 12, good for 42 drafting points on average. So definitely has the capability. I always love targeting centers, especially rebounding centers against the Brooklyn Nets, because their rebounding ability is not very good. They've been a little bit better this year, actually, but still, bigs normally eat against the Nets. Jared Allen is up and down for a center. He's a little bit not as strong as ENES KANTER. ENES KANTER has a nice build to him compared to Jared Allen. Jared Allen's more of like a lanky kind of just athletic guy. Uses his length, but ENES KANTER, I think, can definitely bully him down low for some good rebounding ability. And he's played pretty damn well in the starting lineup recently. This game against the Celtics was kind of a blowout, so he wasn't able to do as much, but still played really well in 24 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my third guy. I'm going to go with another rebounding big, Bam Adebayo. It's looking like Whiteside is going to be out for this game. He hasn't been officially ruled out, but he didn't make the trip for the game their trip to Phoenix last game. So I'm imagining he won't be making the trip to LA unless he's getting like a one-way private jet by himself. I'm not really sure. I haven't really seen a full update, but I'm imagining he's going to be out. So Bam Adebayo, he's going to be in the starting lineup tonight. And the starting center for the Miami Heat normally just goes off because they just kind of factor in so much rebounding ability to him, and also they kind of use him as a staple of like those alley-oop kind of plays. So Whiteside, his role, he's definitely a solid player, but I think he's a guy that can be replaced, like a guy like Bam Adebayo, like we saw last night. He had a 22 and 10, played really well, and normally when he's been given the run, he's played extremely well, just because that role with the Miami Heat, like I said, it allows for a lot of rebounds and definitely some good point totals as well. So 5,400. Clippers defense against centers is not great as well. So I think he can go over 30 DraftKings points, but he definitely could go over 40 as well. He has that kind of upside. But I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my fourth guy. Then we're going to go with Austin Rivers. Like I mentioned, I'm assuming that John Wall is going to be out for tonight. So Rivers will draw the start at point guard. If he is out, he really struggled in the last game against the Hawks, but he still put up 27 DraftKings points, 9, 7, and 7. He has that capability with the point guard role in the Wizards offense, as John Wall is such a facilitator in the offense, so he can step in nicely and be able to get some good assist totals, and also he's a capable scorer when he's out there. We saw that with the Clippers the last year or year or two. He started to pick it up in the scoring ability, so if he can just score a little bit better against the Cavs here, he played pretty well against them earlier this year. In 29 minutes, he dropped 12 points, only 2 rebounds and 2 assists, but I think with the extra run, with him getting around 35 minutes if he's in the starting lineup here, and like I mentioned, the Cavs have been pretty damn bad against point guards the last 2 times out, De'Aaron Fox and Steph Curry. I think Austin Rivers can score a good bit, and at 4,400 for a guy that's going to be getting that much run and a solid usage rate, I think it's definitely worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy of the core 5. Then we're going to go with Trey Lyles. Like I mentioned, way too obvious with Paul Millsap out. Lyles is a guy that can step up and have a really solid showing. He's played pretty damn well when he's gotten over like 20 to 30 minutes. Normally he steps up nicely. I think he's an underrated player off the bench as well. He's a pretty damn good scorer. Maybe his defense isn't as good as like a guy like Paul Millsap, but he definitely has the capability of like being able to shoot. He can drive a little bit. He has a pretty well-rounded offensive game. So 3,500 going against a team in the Atlanta Hawks that can't play defense against really anyone. I think he can step up and have a nice little game here. He is a younger piece for this Nuggets team, so it's a good time with Millsap out to see what they got in him, give him some extra run, and kind of give him a little bit longer of a leash and see if he can produce as like a starting power forward in this league. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there as my final guy, the money 6. So you got Austin Rivers, Bradley Beal, Trey Lyles, Bam Adebayo, Nikola Jokic, and ENES KANTER. You still got 5,700 remaining per player. These guys can return a ton of value. I think Rivers could go over 30. Beal could honestly go over 50. Lyles could go over 30. Bam could go over 35, maybe even 40. Jokic could go to up to 60. KANTER could go up to 40 in those games. So all those guys really get upside of their price tag. Hope you guys enjoyed though. Slap a like if you did. Like I said, over 100 likes would be insane. Thank you. Subscribe if you haven't already to continue to get these NBA DraftKings picks every single day. Some good advice, some good research kind of information to help you out in every single slate. So comment any questions you might have down below in the video. You can follow me on Twitter at MoneyWebby. If I have to update these plays, if John Wall is kind of ruled to be playing. The game is at 7:30, so hopefully we get word before 7. I would imagine that we will, as it's like an illness, so I'm guessing we'll get quicker word. Like if he is not feeling better by 7, then I'm guessing he's not going to be playing and stuff like that. So good luck though, and we'll see you back here again next time.